chosen one. Listen carefully. Heaven itself is leaning in. The air around you is shifting because this moment is not ordinary. This is a divine interruption, a heavenly collision where eternity touches your present. You didn't stumble upon this message by chance. You were summoned here by purpose. Heaven has scheduled this encounter to awaken what has been sleeping inside you. You have felt it for a while, the stirring in your soul, the restless pull that keeps whispering, "Something is coming." That's because heaven has been preparing you for a divine shift that will alter the entire trajectory of your life. The waiting, the wondering, the tears, all of it was not punishment, it was preparation. You were hidden so that you could be healed. You were delayed so you could be developed. Every moment of silence was heaven's workshop. The potter was shaping you while you thought nothing was happening. But now, the hands of God are lifting you from the shadows and placing you into the light of destiny. The season of obscurity is ending. The voice of heaven thunders. It is time. Look back for a moment, not to mourn, but to understand. The very situations that tried to break you became the training ground for your spiritual authority. Every heartbreak carved compassion. Every rejection built resilience. Every storm trained your spirit to recognize the voice of the Master in the winds. What you thought was chaos was actually choreography. Heaven was arranging the stage for your revelation. The same God who interrupted Abraham's ordinary life with a promise, who stopped Moses in his tracks with fire, and who transformed Mary's silence into song, is now interrupting you. Heaven has stepped into your atmosphere to announce that the old story is over and the new one has begun. There's a rumble in the unseen. You may not hear it with your ears, but your spirit feels it. The weight of the old season is lifting. The fog is clearing. And even as you read these words, something within you knows this is confirmation. The very thing you've prayed for, cried for, and waited for is aligning right now. The Spirit of God is saying, stand still. Don't panic. Don't run back to what's familiar. This is not the end, it's the beginning. God is pulling you into a future that will not resemble your past. The wilderness is over, the wonder is ahead. You may not see the full picture yet, but heaven does. What feels uncertain to you is already resolved in the divine blueprint. Every unanswered question is being met with purpose. Stand firm in faith. For even the smallest step of obedience right now is unlocking something eternal in the spirit realm. And when doubt tries to whisper again, remember this truth: your destiny is not fragile. It cannot be stolen, delayed, or destroyed by human hands. What God has ordained carries its own divine momentum. You are simply called to trust, to breathe, and to walk boldly into the miracle already written for you. As the ancient words recorded in the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 13, declare, do not be afraid. Stand firm, and you will see the deliverance the Lord brings today. Let those words settle deep in your soul. This is your deliverance moment. The Red Sea that once stood in front of you is about to split. The same God who commanded the waters to part is commanding your circumstances to yield. Obstacles will bow. Delays will break. The impossible will make way for you because heaven has spoken. You are standing in the same kind of moment Moses faced, surrounded by impossibility, yet sustained by divine power. The path may look invisible now, but as you step forward in faith, the waters will separate. Fear cannot follow you where faith is about to take you. Heaven is breathing over your journey. And angelic forces are clearing the path ahead. Every force that opposed you is losing its grip. The light of God goes before you, scattering darkness and revealing destiny. Move forward with courage. Chosen one, your deliverance is not coming someday. It has already begun. Chosen one. This is the turning point of your story. What felt heavy will suddenly become light. What was locked will open. What was silent will sing. God is about to move in a way that makes every skeptic silent. The very ones who doubted your calling will soon witness undeniable favor. So now, take a prophetic step of faith. If you can feel the shift in your spirit, if you know that this word has found you in divine timing, type 777 inches, the comments right now. It's not just a number, it's your declaration that you are ready for divine completion. Like this message, share it with another soul who needs awakening, and subscribe to stay connected to every word heaven releases. Because from this very second, your story has shifted. The Red Sea before you is opening. You are walking into the impossible, and you will not walk alone. Chosen one. Do you realize that heaven marked you long before anyone knew your name? You are not a random soul wandering through existence. You are a divine design, crafted intentionally with purpose and sealed with heaven's signature. Every line of your story carries evidence of a sacred plan that predates time itself. You were seen before you were born, set apart before your first breath. Even when you felt invisible, you were known. When others overlooked you, God called you by name. While the world measured your worth by what you did, heaven valued you for who you are. You were never meant to blend into the background. You were chosen to stand out in brilliance and truth. You have always felt different, haven't you? The weight of emotions others don't carry. The depth of understanding that often isolates you. The spiritual sensitivity that makes you feel everything. These are not flaws, they are indicators of calling. The reason your spirit cannot tolerate shallow things is because your destiny is carved in the deep. The Spirit of God whispers, "You are not like the rest. You were anointed for an assignment that cannot be duplicated or diluted." That's why rejection has followed you. It wasn't personal. It was prophetic. You were too radiant for certain rooms, too pure for corrupted atmospheres, too heavy with destiny for those still addicted to comfort. Think back. Chosen one. Every season of your life has carried divine evidence of this truth. The times you were misunderstood, you were being trained in discernment. The moments you stood alone, you were being equipped for leadership. The very wounds you thought disqualified, you became the places heaven poured its glory. God never wastes pain. He repurposes it into power. Even now, heaven is peeling back the veil on your identity. You are not who people said you were. You are who God says you are. You are the carrier of light, the disruptor of darkness, the one whose presence shifts the atmosphere. When you walk into a room, the unseen trembles, because your spirit bears the mark of divine ownership. Your calling did not begin when you discovered it. It began when God decided it. You are the answer to a generation's prayer, the vessel through which heaven will release transformation. That's why your life has never been easy. The greater the anointing, the greater the opposition. You've walked through storms that others couldn't survive. But every trial was building endurance. Every fire was refining gold. There were moments when you questioned your worth, when the silence felt unbearable, when you wondered if heaven had forgotten your name. But even in those nights of stillness, The throne of heaven was not empty. The Father was watching, shaping, and whispering destiny over you while you slept. As the Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 1, verse 5, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart." That is your reminder. Chosen one, you were not created to blend in, but to build up. You were not placed here to follow the patterns of the world, but to rewrite them with divine boldness. Every experience, every encounter, every heartbreak was constructing the foundation for the mission heaven is about to unleash through you. And yes, it feels heavy sometimes, the responsibility, the isolation, the spiritual warfare. But even that is evidence that you carry something worth fighting for. The enemy does not waste energy on those who pose no threat. The very fact that you are attacked is proof that you are anointed. The battle surrounding you confirms the magnitude of the promise within you. So lift your head. Heaven did not mark you for misery but for movement. You are being raised as a standard, a living reminder that divine purpose cannot be cancelled by human failure. What once broke you will soon bless others through your testimony. Your scars are turning into scrolls that heaven will read aloud to generations after you. Chosen one, understand, this being marked by heaven means you will never find rest in ordinary things. Your spirit will always crave higher ground. Earthly success will never satisfy what was designed for eternal significance. You are not chasing blessings, you are the blessing. You carry an atmosphere that transforms everything around you. Even in silence, heaven hears your heartbeat. Even in confusion, divine order surrounds you. God's seal upon your life cannot be erased by circumstance or opinion. You were chosen in the secret counsels of heaven, written into the blueprint of eternity, and sent here as an ambassador of light in a time of great darkness. And now, your awareness is awakening. The moment you realize who you truly are, the enemy's grip begins to break. You are not powerless, you are positioned. You are not forgotten, you are fortified. You are not waiting for a move of God, you are the move of God. Chosen one, breathe this truth in. You are the evidence that heaven still writes stories in human skin. You are a living prophecy, wrapped in purpose, carrying divine light into places that forgot what hope feels like. Chosen one, there is something sacred about the seasons that make you wait. The world calls it delay, but heaven calls it development. You've been walking through a chapter where time feels heavy and prayers echo in silence. But what you don't realize is that even silence has sound in the spirit. God has not ignored you. He's been writing your next miracle in invisible ink. The waiting room is not punishment, it's preparation. It's where your faith matures, your discernment sharpens, and your roots go deep. Everyone wants harvest, but few are willing to endure the quiet soil of becoming. You, however, have stayed when others quit. You have prayed when the answers didn't come. You have believed even when the evidence contradicted your faith. That's what sets you apart. The Spirit of God whispers, I saw every tear, the nights you cried yourself to sleep. Heaven took note. The moments you doubted your own strength, angels stood guard. You thought nothing was happening, but in truth, heaven was moving the whole time. There are realms above you that have already shifted, and soon the results will manifest in the natural. You've mistaken delay for denial, but heaven is never late. God operates outside the borders of human calendars. He hides his timing not to frustrate you, but to protect what He's building inside of you. If He gave you the blessing too soon, you'd celebrate the gift and forget the giver. So, He waits patiently, lovingly, until your heart and your purpose move in the same rhythm. You are not stuck. You are being stretched. Every time you've whispered, "Why not yet?" heaven has answered. Because you're not finished growing. The waiting season isn't meant to break you. It's meant to anchor you. God is solidifying your foundation so that when the weight of glory descends, you won't crumble under it. As was spoken long ago in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, though it tarry. Wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not delay." That word is for you, chosen one. What you've been waiting for is already written in heaven's schedule. It cannot be lost, stolen, or forgotten. The waiting is not about if, it's about when. Heaven's not yet is still a promise in progress. You've been praying for doors to open, but sometimes God locks them to train your patience. You've been asking for clarity, but sometimes He keeps you in the fog so you learn to walk by faith, not by sight. Every unanswered prayer is actually a divine pause that allows heaven to align every detail perfectly. You may feel weary, but this is the moment your faith earns its wings. Waiting is worship when your heart refuses to quit. Every "still I trust you" you've whispered has become incense before the throne. Every "I'll praise you anyway" has been a seed in the soil of heaven. And soon, suddenly, the shift will come. It won't be gradual. It will be like dawn breaking after the longest night. The same God who tested Abraham's patience, who held Joseph in prison before the palace, who let David wander before the crown, is also writing your testimony. Every waiting chapter in Scripture ended with sudden glory, and so will yours. Chosen one, let peace find you in this in-between. You don't need to chase what's already chasing you. Destiny is not running away, it's running toward you. Your job is to stay in position. When the appointed time arrives, nothing and no one will be able to stop what heaven releases. Do not despise this waiting, honor it. It's the proof that God trusts you with the process. You are being entrusted, not delayed. The spiritual maturity that's forming inside of you right now will sustain blessings that would have broken you before. Heaven is not withholding, it's ensuring you never lose what's coming. And while you wait, don't lose your worship. Don't stop speaking life. Don't give up on your prayers. Because somewhere in the unseen, your miracle is already standing. It's just waiting for divine timing to say, "Go, now." If this word resonates in your spirit, let your faith speak. Comment, "I'm still standing right now," not as a phrase, but as a declaration that though you've been stretched, you haven't broken. It's your way of saying to heaven, "I may be waiting, but I'm not weary. I still believe." Because this very waiting is the womb of your next miracle. The shift isn't coming, it's already begun. And when heaven says now, you will look back and realize that every second of waiting was worth it. Chosen one, there are moments when heaven seems silent. Yet in truth, it's never been louder. The stillness you feel is not abandonment, it's divine strategy. You are in a transition between what was and what will be. Heaven is breaking its silence, not with thunder, but with movement so subtle you can only sense it in your spirit. The unseen world has been active around you. while you slept. Prayers you forgot you prayed were being gathered like incense before the throne. Angels have been dispatched, and the hand of God has been weaving together what your eyes could not see. You've been walking by faith through fog, yet heaven has already cleared your path in the spirit realm. There's a sound now, a frequency rising. It's not a sound of chaos, but of divine orchestration. The pieces are moving. The atmosphere is changing. What was quiet is now trembling with anticipation, because heaven is about to reveal what it has been preparing in secret. Many times, the silence of God is mistaken for distance, but his silence is often his way of strengthening your discernment. When you can't hear him, you learn to feel him. When you can't trace his hand, you begin to trust his heart. It's in those silent spaces that faith stops being an idea and becomes a living flame. Every great unveiling in Scripture began after a season of silence. Before the flood, there was stillness. Before the angel spoke to Mary, centuries of prophetic quiet had passed. Before Jesus rose, there was a long night where heaven said nothing. But silence is not absence, it's suspense before the miracle. Heaven's silence means something sacred is about to speak. You are standing in the in-between, where divine plans mature before being born. Your spirit feels the tension because heaven is expanding your capacity. You're being trained to carry revelation without breaking, to walk in authority without arrogance, and to move in power without pride. As was written in the book of Daniel, chapter 10, verse 12, "From the first day that you set your heart to understand and to humble yourself before your God, your words were heard, and I have come in response to them." Heaven heard you the first time. The delay was not denial, it was divine timing, aligning with spiritual warfare. There were things in the unseen realm being shifted, rearranged, and resisted. But now, the silence is breaking because heaven has completed its work. The message that was delayed is on its way to you. Do not mistake quiet seasons for lack of progress. When a seed is buried in the ground, it seems lifeless, but within the darkness, life is forming. The soil of silence is where faith germinates. You can't see it, but roots are growing deep. Soon, what's been hidden beneath the surface will break through, undeniable and unstoppable. The Spirit of God says, "Do not fear the quiet." This is the sacred space where transformation takes place. You are being rewired internally so that when the next wave of glory comes, you can carry it with stability. You are learning to listen not just with ears, but with your soul. There is power in silence. It exposes noise. It reveals motives. It separates emotion from truth. It teaches you to recognize the difference between God's timing and your own impatience. When you finally find peace in His stillness, you have learned the rhythm of heaven. The silence of God is often the greatest test of trust. When you stop needing constant confirmation and simply rest in His word, you graduate into a deeper intimacy with Him. Heaven doesn't shout to those who panic. It whispers to those who listen. The whisper carries more authority than the noise ever could. Chosen one, you are learning to hear the language of heaven, a language beyond words. It speaks in timing, in atmosphere, in divine coincidences that reveal purpose. The silence has been your classroom. The breaking of that silence will be your graduation. And when heaven finally speaks again, it won't be to explain the silence. It will be to reveal the promise. You'll look back and see that the quiet wasn't empty, it was full of construction. God was building something strong, permanent, and glorious within you. Soon, the sound will shift. The heavens will move. What was once motionless will respond to divine command. You won't have to strive. You'll just step into the flow. The very areas that once seemed dead will begin to vibrate with new life. The silence was never meant to last. It was meant to prepare the sound of victory. Chosen one. Heaven's stillness has always been love in disguise. It protected you from premature movement and gave you the strength to hear what others miss. Now, the silence is lifting. The wind is stirring again. The voice that once seemed distant will soon thunder with clarity, and this time, you will recognize it instantly. Hold your peace, stay steady, and listen. The silence of heaven is breaking, and the sound that follows will carry your name. Chosen one. The great reversal has begun. Heaven is turning the page of your story, and everything that once pressed against you is about to propel you forward. The very ground that tried to bury you will now become the stage that elevates you. The same winds that once resisted you are now carrying you into purpose. God is flipping the script. You have walked through valleys where shadows whispered lies. You've stood in moments that felt unfair, where the wicked prospered. And you, who tried to do right, seemed left behind. But heaven has been watching. The scales are shifting. The judge of all creation has declared a turnaround in your favor. The tears you cried in private are becoming oil of anointing in public. Sometimes, divine justice takes the shape of irony. The stone that was rolled against you is about to be rolled away for you. The table that was turned against you will become the one God sets before your enemies. The same voices that mocked you will one day testify of His power through you. This is the nature of divine reversal. It humbles the proud and honors the faithful. You didn't lose, you were being positioned. You didn't fail, you were being refined. You didn't fall apart, you were being rearranged. The great reversal is heaven's way of saying, what was meant for evil will be used for good. Every closed door was a redirection, not rejection. Every delay was a setup for demonstration, as was spoken in the book of Genesis, chapter 50, verse 20. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. Chosen one. God has been weaving beauty from your broken threads. What looked like loss was actually construction. He has been working in secret, turning ashes into crowns. You're about to see how every no served as protection, and every weight prepared the foundation for something far greater. Imagine a potter shaping clay. At times, he presses hard, reshaping what seems already formed. It feels violent to the clay, yet the potter knows the vessel must endure pressure to hold the oil. That's been your journey. The pressure was not to destroy, it was to define you. The reversal begins when the clay finally understands the hands that mold it are not cruel but creative. You are now entering the Joseph moment of your destiny. The pit taught you humility. The prison taught you endurance. And now the palace will reveal your purpose. God is about to elevate you into spaces that once rejected you, not for revenge, but for redemption. You will feed the same famine that once starved you. Chosen one. This is the season where you must keep your heart soft. Do not let bitterness steal your blessing. Forgive those who wronged you. Bless those who misunderstood you. The reversal is not about proving them wrong, It's about proving God right. You are walking evidence that grace outlasts gossip, and purpose outlives pain. Think of a seed buried deep underground. The darkness was necessary for growth. The soil wasn't your grave, it was your womb. The pressure above you wasn't meant to suffocate, it was meant to push you upward toward light. Now, the surface is cracking. The first signs of your breakthrough are pushing through. Heaven's reversal is sprouting through what once felt like ruin. And when that breakthrough comes, let your gratitude be louder than your gain. Let generosity mark your gratitude. If this word has stirred something within you, if you feel heaven's hand reminding you that your story is far from over, then share it. Spread this flame of hope like wildfire. Hit like not as a gesture of approval, but as a prophetic act of agreement saying, yes, I receive this reversal. Share it so that someone else, standing in their own valley, may find a reason to rise again. Subscribe so that every word heaven releases finds you when you need it most. And if your heart feels moved to go beyond listening to sow into what God is doing, consider supporting this ministry. Every seed, no matter the size, becomes oil for more voices to hear this same message of hope. Just as rain nurtures hidden roots, your giving helps awaken hidden souls. It's never about money, it's about mission. Together, we build altars where weary hearts can find light again. You have endured the midnight, but dawn is breaking. The great reversal is not coming, it's unfolding right now. The low places are rising. The broken are being healed. The forgotten are being found. Heaven is restoring order, balance, and beauty. Chosen one, lift your eyes. The divine reversal is here. And this time, your story ends in glory. Chosen one, can you feel it? The ground beneath you is trembling, not in destruction, but in divine transition. This is the earthquake of destiny. The moment heaven rearranges everything that was never meant to stay the same. What feels like shaking is not punishment, it is prophecy. God is shaking loose what no longer serves his plan for your life. There are times when heaven does not whisper softly, but moves forcefully. You are in such a time now. The tremors you sense are not signs of loss, they are signals of alignment. The walls you leaned on are cracking, not to harm you, but to free you from false stability. For too long, you've tried to hold together things that heaven intended to shift. The Spirit of God declares, everything that can be shaken will be shaken, until only the unshakable remains. That is what this moment is about, distinguishing between what is built on sand and what is built on rock. You are being stripped of the temporary so that you may stand firm in the eternal. You have felt it in relationships, in routines, in your inner world. Things you once depended on are fading. Doors that once opened easily now resist you. People who once understood you no longer speak your language. But fear not, this is not rejection, it's recalibration. Heaven is reorganizing your environment to fit your next level. As it is written in the book of Haggai, chapter 2, verse 6, in a little while I will once more shake the heavens and the earth, the sea and the dry land. This shaking is heaven's announcement that the new era of your life is beginning. Old structures are collapsing because they cannot carry the new weight of glory that's coming. You have prayed for breakthrough, and now God is breaking through, just not in the way you expected. He's dismantling false foundations to build something unshakable. Imagine a tree in a storm. The winds bend it almost to breaking. Yet afterward, Its roots grow deeper, stronger, more secure. That is what the shaking is doing to you. You are being rooted in truth, anchored in faith, and grounded in the voice of God. When this storm passes, and it will, you will stand taller than before, because your roots will touch eternity. The earthquake of destiny is also heaven's way of moving you out of comfort zones. You cannot build temples in temporary places. Some of what you've lost recently were safety nets that would have trapped you. God had to remove them to teach you that your true safety was never in people, titles, or possessions. It was always in Him. The shaking is also shaking your vision into focus. Old dreams are falling away so new purpose can rise. Heaven is rewriting your schedule, rearranging your priorities, and reminding you of promises you once buried under disappointment. The earthquake may feel violent, but it is actually a divine reset. Chosen one, remember this: even the ground that trembles is still under His authority. You are not falling apart, you are falling into alignment. Every piece of your life is landing exactly where heaven wants it. You are being moved from instability to destiny, from fear to faith, from confusion to clarity. Do not resist the shaking, embrace it. Each vibration is a heavenly hammer striking the walls of limitation. What is breaking is making room for what is becoming. You cannot enter new glory with old systems. You cannot inhabit a new promise while clinging to expired provision. Let the shaking finish its work. Even in chaos, there is choreography. The same God who shook the prison for Paul and Silas is shaking the chains off your destiny. The same God who moved mountains for Moses is now moving obstacles for you. The tremor you feel is heaven's construction crew at work. Chosen one. Soon the shaking will settle, and when it does, what remains will be sacred. You'll realize the things that fell away were never yours to carry. The shaking is heaven's mercy. It removes what hinders so you can walk freely into what's holy. Now, as a prophetic act of faith, if your spirit senses this truth, if you can feel the rumble of divine change inside you, type 8,888 inches, the comments right now. It's not a random number, it's the symbol of new beginnings multiplied, of resurrection power and divine cycles being renewed. When you declare 8,888, you are saying, Lord, let everything that can be shaken until only you remain. You are affirming that your life, your future, and your identity rest not in temporary things, but in the eternal foundation of His will. The earthquake of destiny is not here to destroy, it's here to define. And when the dust settles, you will see clearly everything that was taken, everything that shifted, was heaven's way of making space for what's next. Chosen one. This is not the end of something, it is the unveiling of someone. That someone is you, reborn in purpose, steady under pressure, unshakable in faith. Chosen one. Your season of hiding is ending. The curtain that once covered you is lifting. The time when your light was concealed for protection is giving way to the hour of unveiling. Heaven is saying, step forward. You are no longer called to remain unseen. You are being positioned to be heard, known, and revealed not for fame, but for function. For years, you have wondered why you were kept in the background while others advanced. You saw doors open for people who seemed less prepared, less committed, less faithful. It made you question your place, your timing, your worth. But heaven was not punishing you, it was preserving you. You were being refined in silence because the weight of what you carry requires holy preparation. There are seasons when visibility would destroy what maturity is still perfecting. God hides those he intends to use greatly, like a seed buried in the ground. Your hiddenness was necessary for germination. The soil of obscurity protected your roots from storms that would have uprooted you too soon, while others sought platforms. Heaven was shaping your foundation. The Spirit of God whispers, "You were hidden so that you could heal." There were wounds heaven refused to expose publicly because they were being sutured privately. There were insecurities heaven refused to let the world exploit because they were being replaced with confidence in his voice. You thought you were forgotten, but you were being fortified. Now, that season of silence is ending. Heaven's timing is precise. The moment God reveals you, no one can conceal you again. The shift is subtle at first, a whisper, a conversation, a divine connection, but soon it will become undeniable. The light that has been burning quietly within you will begin to glow outwardly. What was once ignored will now become irresistible because the anointing has matured. As it is written in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 8, verse 17, "For there is nothing hidden that will not be disclosed, and nothing concealed that will not be known or brought out into the open." This unveiling is not about attention, it's about assignment. The world needs what you carry. There are people waiting for your voice, your story, your obedience. Heaven has timed your emergence to align with a need on the earth. You are not being revealed to entertain crowds, but to awaken souls. Remember, chosen one. The light you carry is not for self-promotion, it is for illumination. When God raises you, it is not to make you visible, but to make him visible through you. You will walk into rooms where darkness has ruled for years, and simply by being present, the atmosphere will shift. That's what happens when a hidden vessel finally releases the light of heaven. The unveiling will test your humility. Fame may try to follow favor, but you must remain anchored. The applause of men is fleeting, the approval of heaven is eternal. Stay rooted in gratitude. Every platform God gives you is not a throne, it's an altar. Every opportunity is a chance to serve, not to shine for self. Chosen one. You will recognize your unveiling not by the increase of attention, but by the clarity of purpose. You will no longer doubt why you were made. The same voice that once whispered destiny in secret will now declare it openly. The doors that were once closed will begin to open on their own, because heaven's endorsement carries authority that needs no introduction. The unveiling will also bring alignment. People who once misunderstood you will see the truth. The ones who once walked away will remember your name, not because of revenge, but because revelation has arrived. When light shines, it doesn't argue with darkness, it simply exposes it. Do not be surprised when new responsibilities come with this season. Greater visibility brings greater weight. The spotlight of heaven is not for comfort, but for calling. You will find yourself influencing lives without even trying, inspiring others just by walking in obedience. Your life will become a sermon that doesn't need words. This unveiling is the evidence that the waiting was not wasted. Every quiet prayer, every lonely night, every act of faith unseen by human eyes was recorded in heaven's archives. Now, God is pulling back the veil. The same hands that covered you for protection are uncovering you for purpose. The world is about to encounter what heaven has been shaping in secret. You are not being elevated, you are being revealed. And when that revelation unfolds, do not shrink back. This is not the time for false humility or fear. Step forward with confidence, not in your ability, but in your assignment. Chosen one. This is your unveiling moment. You have been prepared in private for what is about to happen in public. You will rise quietly but impact loudly. And when they ask, "Where did you come from?" you will smile and say, "From the secret place, for it was in the shadows that you found his voice." And now you emerge carrying his light. The season of obscurity has served its purpose. Step into the unveiling. Heaven is ready for you to be seen. Chosen one. There will come a moment when those who doubted you will have no words left to say. The ones who laughed when you fell will have to watch as you rise. The table is being set, and the fragrance of favor is already filling the room. Heaven is preparing a scene so divine that even your enemies will have to bear witness to the hand of God upon your life. You have endured betrayal, misunderstanding, and silent seasons that broke your heart in unseen ways. You've been faithful when it would have been easier to walk away. You've kept your heart pure in the face of provocation. Those nights of tears, those prayers no one heard, none of them were wasted. Every moment of suffering was recorded in heaven's archives. And now, repayment is coming. God does not ignore injustice. He may delay, but he never forgets. The same hands that allowed the pain will be the hands that prepare the feast. The same path that led you through valleys will lead you to victory. What looked like humiliation was only the prelude to honor. Heaven is staging your vindication, as it was written by the psalmist David in the book of Psalms, chapter 23, verse 5. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Chosen one. Understand the depth of this promise. The table is not merely a symbol of abundance, it is the declaration of divine justice. God could have prepared it anywhere in secret, in solitude, far from the eyes of those who hurt you. But he chooses to set it in their presence because vindication is not complete until the witnesses return. Your enemies will not be destroyed, they will be educated. They will see what grace looks like when it dresses in glory. God is not vindictive, he is restorative. He doesn't silence your adversaries with shame, but with undeniable evidence that his favor was upon you all along. You do not need to defend yourself. The temptation to prove your worth, to fight back, to make them see, resist it. Heaven is your defense. God's justice does not rush, it reveals itself in perfect timing. When he lifts you, he will make sure every eye that once dismissed you cannot deny the change. Chosen one. The oil of honor that is coming will not drip, it will overflow. You will not just be blessed, you will become a blessing. The same hands that wiped your tears will soon pour oil upon your head, marking you publicly for what you carried privately. And that oil will not fade. For it is not the approval of men, it is the affirmation of God. The preparation of this table is not instant. It takes time for heaven's feast to be arranged. But when it's complete, it will hold everything that was once stolen: peace, joy, opportunities, restoration, and redemption. You will sit where you once served, reign where you once wept, and smile where you once mourned. God is not elevating you to humiliate others. He is elevating you to glorify his own name through your story. When the light falls upon you, It will not highlight revenge, it will reveal redemption. The ones who hurt you will witness mercy instead of malice, compassion instead of contempt. That is the highest form of victory, to respond to cruelty with grace. This moment is coming sooner than you think. The shift is already happening. Conversations about you are changing. Doors once closed are unlocking. People who ignored your worth are suddenly being reminded of your value. The invisible hand of God is turning hearts, rearranging tables, and calling your name in places you've never been. When you sit at this divine table, you will realize it was never about food or recognition, it was about restoration. Every dish on that table represents a prayer answered, every cup a promise fulfilled. The fragrance of favor will fill your spirit so richly that bitterness will have no place to stay. Chosen one, prepare your heart. The invitation to this feast comes with humility. Do not gloat when glory comes. Remember the path that led you there, the pain that purified you, the silence that strengthened you, the forgiveness that freed you. You are not sitting as a conqueror of men, but as a vessel of mercy. Let those who watch see the reflection of grace in your eyes. Let them witness love where they expected bitterness. For that is the true mark of a chosen one, to be elevated and yet remain humble, to be vindicated and yet choose peace. And when the table is finally set, don't rush to speak. Simply sit, breathe, and let heaven finish its story through you. The greatest response to those who doubted is not explanation, it's transformation. The feast is not a moment of revenge, it's a revelation of who you've become. Chosen one. You will sit in peace where you once stood in pain. The enemies who thought they buried you will realize they only planted you. The table is ready. The oil is poured, and your cup, your beautiful, overflowing cup, will testify that every wound led to wonder. Chosen one. Something powerful happens when heaven speaks over your life. Creation listens. Every cell, every circumstance, every closed door begins to respond to the frequency of divine decree. The prophetic has weight. It is not simply words, it is the language of destiny. When God releases a word, reality must rearrange itself to obey it. You have felt this stirring lately, haven't you? A sense that something invisible has been activated on your behalf. That's because the heavens have issued an order concerning you. The season of silence has given way to the sound of prophecy. You may not see it yet, but everything around you is already shifting to fulfill what was spoken in secret. God's voice is not bound by time. When He declares, "Let there be," it reverberates through generations. The word He spoke over you before you were born is still echoing, cutting through doubt, fear, and delay. The enemy has tried to distort that word, to drown it out with noise. But what God decrees cannot be undone. It lives, breathes, and moves until it completes its mission. As the prophet wrote in the book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 7, "Surely the sovereign Lord does nothing without revealing His plan to His servants, the prophets." Chosen one. This is what is happening now. The plan of heaven is being revealed to you. Not all at once, but piece by piece, like a sacred puzzle. You are stepping into divine awareness, seeing beyond what is visible, feeling the tug of purpose pulling you towards something larger than yourself. The prophetic word over your life is awakening. This is why you have felt pressure increase. When a prophecy begins to unfold, resistance rises. The enemy always fights what carries divine potential. But remember, Opposition is not a sign of failure, it is a sign of activation. If your life feels under attack, it's because your destiny is under construction. Heaven is building something too strong to be shaken. Prophecy does not just predict, it produces. Every word spoken by heaven carries creative power. When you agree with that word, you become a partner in its fulfillment. The moment you align your speech, your faith, and your choices with what heaven has declared, you give permission for the impossible to become possible. You are not just waiting for a word, you are the word in motion. You are the fulfillment of promises spoken generations ago. The fire in your spirit is proof that prophecy is alive inside you. The visions you keep seeing, the confirmations that keep appearing, they are not coincidences. They are reminders that you are walking inside a living word. Chosen one. This is why your voice matters. When you speak in alignment with heaven, you become an echo of eternity. Your declarations carry the weight of the kingdom. When you say, "It is done," the spiritual realm responds. You were never meant to speak from pain, you were created to speak from power. But power without purity can destroy. That is why God trains his prophets in silence before he trusts them with sound. He has been refining your words in the fire of experience, so that when you speak, heaven can back you with authority. This is why your words have begun to carry unusual impact lately, because they are no longer mixed with doubt. Soon, your voice will shift atmospheres. You will speak peace into chaos and watch storms still. You will speak hope into despair and see hearts revive. Your presence will carry prophetic weight, not because you are perfect, but because you are surrendered. Chosen one. When heaven speaks through you, it doesn't sound loud, it sounds alive. It may come as a whisper, but it carries eternity inside it. That's the mystery of divine partnership. God chooses human lips to release eternal sound. Now, if this word resonates within you, if your spirit feels the confirmation that heaven is stirring something prophetic inside you, type, "I receive it," in the comments right now. Let that declaration be your agreement with what heaven is releasing. When you type it, don't do it casually. Do it consciously. As your fingers move, imagine the word leaving your spirit and rising before the throne, joining the sound of angelic affirmation. You are saying, "Yes, Lord, I align with your decree. I open my life to the fulfillment of every word you've spoken over me." Because prophecy doesn't just happen to you, it happens through you. The same voice that once said, "Let there be light," now speaks through your own. So, stand tall. Chosen one. The heavens have spoken. The decree has been released. And your agreement is the final key that unlocks manifestation. Chosen one. There comes a sacred moment when you finally exchange what was broken for what is blessed. This is the divine exchange, the holy transaction between your weakness and God's strength, your mourning and his joy, your ashes and his crown. You have carried burdens far too long, and heaven is saying, "Lay them down." The trade has already been made. The journey you've walked has not been wasted. Every sorrow, every disappointment, every unanswered question has been placed on heaven's altar. God is not ignoring your pain, he's transforming it. What you thought was loss has become the raw material of miracle. You are standing in the sacred marketplace of grace, where heaven takes what you surrender and gives you what you could never earn. You've been walking with weights you were never meant to carry: guilt, regret, weariness, the silent ache of prayers that seemed forgotten. But heaven is offering an exchange. The King himself extends his hands and says, "Give me your heaviness, and I'll give you peace. Give me your sorrow, and I'll give you song. Give me your failure, and I'll give you favor." As was declared in the book of Isaiah, chapter 61, verse 3, "To bestow on them a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning." This is not poetry, it is promise. God doesn't simply heal, He transforms. He doesn't repair old garments, He gives you new ones. The divine exchange is not about fixing your past, it's about replacing it with purpose. You are not who you were when you entered the storm. The fire you walked through didn't consume you, it refined you into something priceless. Think of gold, buried deep in the earth. It must endure the fire before it gleams. You have been that gold, hidden, pressed, and purified. The heat was not punishment, it was preparation. Every trial stripped away what was temporary, leaving behind what was eternal. And now heaven looks at you and sees purity where there was once pain. Chosen one. God never asks for surrender to leave you empty. He only removes what hinders the flow of what He wants to pour. When you let go, you make room. When you trust, you invite transformation. Every time you've said, "Lord, I can't carry this anymore," He's whispered, "You don't have to. Give it to me." Picture a weary traveler carrying a heavy pack along a mountain path. His shoulders ache, his strength fades, and he begins to stumble. Then suddenly, a gentle voice says, "Let me carry it from here." That is the voice speaking to you now. The climb is not over, but the weight can change hands. The burden shifts, yet the journey continues lighter. And as you release, something supernatural happens. Joy begins to rise like dawn after a long night. Peace begins to settle like fresh snow, covering everything that once looked barren. The divine exchange isn't loud or dramatic, it's gentle, steady, and sacred. You begin to realize that you no longer have to strive to be whole, you already are. Because grace has done the work. Chosen one. If this message stirs something deep within you, if it feels like heaven is whispering directly to your heart, pause for a moment and breathe. Let gratitude fill the space where anxiety once lived. Then, as an act of alignment, gently engage, like this message, not out of habit, but as a sign of agreement, a quiet way of saying, "I receive this exchange." Share it with someone you know is walking under the weight of sorrow. Let this be the light that lifts them. Subscribe to stay connected to the flow of these words, so that when heaven speaks again, you'll be right here to hear it. And if your heart feels moved to sow, to help this message continue reaching others across oceans and screens, consider offering a small gift. Every seed fuels another spark, another story, another soul that finds strength again. Your giving is not a transaction, it's participation. You become part of the echo of heaven's hope, helping light travel where darkness once reigned. Think of it like this: when you drop a single pebble into a pond, ripples spread far beyond what you can see. Your act of generosity works the same way. It creates spiritual ripples that reach hearts you'll never meet, transforming despair into destiny. The divine exchange is not just between you and God, it continues through you. You become an instrument of exchange, carrying peace into chaos, hope into heaviness, Light into shadow. The same hands that were once trembling in weakness now carry healing for others. That's how heaven works. What you release multiplies. Chosen one. This is your moment to rest in the sacred transaction. The price has been paid. The weight has been lifted. Grace has rewritten your name. You walk lighter now, not because the path changed, but because your posture did. And as you step forward, remember everything you lost was simply the making of what you'll soon carry. The ashes were never the end, they were the beginning of something beautiful. Chosen one. Fire has always been the language of transformation. It refines. It purifies. It separates the true from the temporary. You have walked through flames that others could not endure. But you are still here, stronger, clearer, holier. The very heat that threatened to consume you became the tool heaven used to shape you. This is the refining fire. And it has done its sacred work. At times, it felt cruel. You wondered why you had to endure so much loss. Why the road seemed so lonely. Why everything you touched seemed to fall apart. You asked, God, where are you in this? But the truth is, He was not absent from the fire, He was in it with you. The fire you feared was never meant to destroy. It was meant to reveal what cannot be destroyed. When gold enters the furnace, impurities rise to the surface. The heat does not change the gold, it exposes its true nature. That's what God has been doing in you. The pressure, the betrayal, the unanswered prayers, each one turned up the heat so that pride, fear, and self-doubt could melt away. What remains now is authenticity, faith refined like pure gold, love that cannot be shaken. You see, the refiner does not leave the furnace unattended. He watches closely, not to see the gold suffer, but to ensure it is never scorched. He knows exactly when to lift it out, never too soon, never too late. You may have felt abandoned, but you were being watched over the entire time. Heaven's eyes never left you. As the prophet wrote in the book of Zechariah, chapter 13, verse 9, I will bring that group through the fire and make them pure. I will refine them like silver and test them like gold. They will call on my name, and I will answer them. Chosen one. That's what this season has been about. Refinement, not rejection. Every trial has been a classroom. Every disappointment, a teacher. You have been learning to hear God's voice in the flames, to trust His silence, to follow His light even when surrounded by darkness. And through it all, your spirit has been maturing into something unbreakable. There's a kind of strength that only comes from surviving fire. It's not loud or boastful, it's quiet and unwavering. It's the calm that looks fear in the eye and says, I've been through worse. You now carry that kind of peace, the peace that no storm can steal, no critic can shake, no failure can erase. It's the peace of someone who knows who they are and whose they are. The refining fire has also burned away attachments that were never meant to stay. Some relationships had to fade, not because you failed, but because they were not built to endure this level of glory. God allowed certain people to walk away so you could walk freely. Not every hand can handle holy weight. The ones who left simply could not walk through the fire with you. And that's okay. The flames also revealed your endurance. While others saw ashes, heaven saw progress. Every time you refused to give up, the refiner smiled. Every time you worshipped through pain, angels rejoiced. The fire that was meant to break you instead branded you with resilience. You are no longer fragile, you are forged. Chosen one. This refining season is also about clarity. Fire sharpens focus. It has burned away distractions, purified your desires, and made your purpose unmistakable. You now know what truly matters. You've stopped chasing approval and started pursuing authenticity. You've stopped reaching for temporary crowns and begun seeking eternal impact. That's what refined faith looks like. It no longer demands answers, it simply trusts. It no longer bargains with heaven, it surrenders. It no longer fears the flame, it welcomes it. Knowing the fire only ever makes what's eternal shine brighter. When you look back, you'll realize something profound. The fire was never your enemy. It was your escort into destiny. Without it, you would have settled for comfort instead of calling. Without it, your faith would have stayed shallow. Without it, your love for God would have remained untested. But now, you stand radiant, carrying the glow of one who has seen both suffering and salvation and learned that they are not opposites but partners. You shine because you survived. You glow because you grew. You are the living proof that even in fire, grace never fails. Chosen one. The furnace season is ending. The embers are cooling. The smoke is clearing. And what remains is gold pure, strong, and luminous. The fire did not steal your identity. It revealed it. And now, heaven looks upon you and says, "It is finished." The refining is complete. Walk forward with quiet confidence. You do not smell like the fire you've been through. You carry no trace of smoke, only the fragrance of faith. You have become what the flames could not consume: light. Chosen one. The sky above you is changing. The heaviness that once pressed down on your soul is lifting. The winds that once scattered your plans are now aligning them. You have stepped into a sacred hour known as heaven's open portal, the moment when divine favor flows freely. When what was once blocked begins to move without resistance. You can sense it, can't you? The invisible current of grace rushing through your atmosphere. Doors that were sealed for years are beginning to creak open. Opportunities you thought were lost are circling back. This is not coincidence, it is orchestration. The same God who spoke galaxies into motion has whispered your name, and heaven has responded. For so long, you've prayed and knocked and waited, wondering if the heavens had turned to brass. You've felt the frustration of effort without fruit, of motion without progress. But that was before the alignment. God has been shifting pieces in silence, preparing the way for something that could not happen until now. The time of divine delay is ending, and the time of divine acceleration has arrived. The portal of heaven is not a place, it's a posture. It opens when your heart aligns with obedience, when you let go of control, when you trust beyond logic, when you say, "God, not my will, but yours." That's when heaven's gate swings wide. You don't have to force it open. Surrender unlocks it. As it is written in the book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 8, "See, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. I know that you have little strength, yet you have kept my word and have not denied my name." Chosen one. That open door stands before you now. It is not small, it's vast. It doesn't lead to a single blessing, but to a divine flow. This is not a season of one miracle, it's a wave of them. God is about to overwhelm you with goodness in ways that leave you speechless. You'll notice the change first. in subtle ways, a conversation that becomes a connection, a closed heart that softens, a long-forgotten dream that suddenly wakes up. Then, like a flood, everything begins to align at once. It will feel too fast, too sudden, too effortless, but that's how grace works. When heaven opens, the struggle ceases. This is the moment you've been prepared for during the years of hiddenness and refining. All the prayers that once felt unanswered are now merging into fulfillment. Every not yet is transforming into now. The same heavens that once seemed silent are thundering with your breakthrough. But remember, this favor is not given for comfort, it's entrusted for purpose. Heaven opens doors not to make life easier, but to make impact deeper. The blessings coming your way are not random, they are assignments wrapped in opportunity. God will elevate you, not just to bless you, but to reach others through you. When the portal opens, distractions will try to return. Voices from the past may whisper, "You're not ready," or "It's too good to be true." Ignore them. They speak from the dust, but you are walking in divine air. The atmosphere of heaven now surrounds you. You are authorized to move forward without fear. The flow of favor will also demand stewardship. What you receive in this season must be guarded with humility. Do not forget the days of wilderness when abundance begins to overflow. Gratitude is the key that keeps heaven's portal open. When you thank God in the plenty as sincerely as you did in the pain, you show Him that your heart can handle harvest. You may feel overwhelmed by the magnitude of what's coming, but remember, you're not supposed to manage it alone. Grace will carry what strength cannot. Angels are already assigned to assist. You don't need to chase opportunity. Opportunity is being magnetized toward you. Chosen one. The waiting has turned to witnessing. You are about to stand under a divine waterfall of mercy, healing, and provision. The things that used to exhaust you will now excite you, because you'll no longer be striving, you'll be flowing. Now, if your spirit feels the confirmation of this word, if something deep within you knows that this open portal belongs to you, type 55,555 inches, the comments right now. It's not just a number, it's a prophetic act. A symbol of divine grace multiplied. It says, I step into alignment with heaven's flow. I receive the open door God has placed before me. When you declare 55555, you are marking this moment in faith. You're saying, this is my turning point. I refuse to live beneath favor any longer. The number is not magic, it's memory. It represents your agreement with heaven, your willingness to step into the supernatural season God has ordained. Chosen one. The doors are open. The wind is blowing. The portal of heaven has been unlocked, and your name is written upon it. Step forward, not in fear, but in awe. The same God who began this work in you is now flooding your path with glory. Walk through. This is your divine moment. Chosen one. Some promises are not fragile, they are sealed in eternity. What God has spoken over you cannot be reversed, revoked, or rewritten. You stand now beneath the shadow of an unshakable covenant, a divine agreement that was written long before your first breath and sealed by the very hand of the Almighty. This covenant is not dependent on your perfection, it rests upon His permanence. There are moments in life when uncertainty tries to whisper louder than faith. You see the chaos of the world, the instability of people, and the unpredictability of circumstances. Yet, through it all, One truth remains immovable. God's covenant with you cannot be broken. Heaven has made a vow to sustain you, to protect you, to fulfill what was promised. From the beginning, the story of God and humanity has been marked by covenant. With Noah, it was a bow of promise across the sky. With Abraham, it was stars that stretched beyond counting. With David, it was a throne that would never fade. And now, with you, it is something deeper, a personal covenant, written not on stone tablets but upon your heart. You have seen people change their minds, loyalty fade, words fail. But God is not like man. His yes remains yes. His promises don't waver with emotion or condition. Even when you stumbled, even when doubt dimmed your faith, the covenant remained unshaken. His love does not need your performance. It needs your permission to trust him again, to believe that his commitment to you still stands. As it is written in the book of Isaiah, chapter 54, verse 10, "Though the mountains be shaken and the hills be removed, yet my unfailing love for you will not be shaken, nor my covenant of peace be removed, says the Lord, who has compassion on you, chosen one." Those words are more than comfort, they are foundation. You are not anchored to the shifting sands of chance, but to the unchanging rock of divine promise. Life may shake, people may leave, seasons may shift, but his covenant remains steadfast. It is not fragile glass, it is eternal granite, carved by grace. You may wonder, if the covenant is unshakable, why do I still face storms? Because even promises that cannot be broken are often proven in fire. The storm does not destroy the covenant, it reveals it. When everything else collapses, you discover what truly holds. The winds are not here to harm you, they are here to remind you of the strength beneath your feet. The covenant is also your inheritance. It means that favor is not a random gift, it's your birthright. Protection is not an accident, it's your covering. Purpose is not a pursuit, it's a promise. Everything you need for the journey ahead has already been written into the covenant. You do not chase blessings. Blessings recognize you because heaven's mark is upon your name. But every covenant has a call to remembrance. The enemy will try to make you forget to focus on what is missing rather than what has been promised. That's why God repeats his word through signs, whispers, and confirmations. Every sunrise, every unexpected kindness, every moment of peace in chaos, they are reminders that he has not changed his mind about you. Chosen one, your covenant is also one of peace. Not peace as the world gives, conditional, fragile, but peace that holds even in storms. It is the kind that steadies your heart when logic cannot. When others panic, you rest. When the world shakes, you stand, not because you're strong, but because you're sealed. To live under this covenant is to walk with holy confidence. It is to know that no weapon formed against you will prosper, not because you are immune to attack, but because you are under divine insurance. The battle may come, but the outcome is already settled. You fight from victory, not for it. And yet, the covenant is not a one-sided promise, it's an invitation. God keeps his end, but he calls you to remember yours, to remain faithful, to keep your heart pure, to trust even when sight fails. The covenant thrives in trust. Every act of obedience, every word of faith, every decision to forgive is a reaffirmation that you belong to him. Chosen one, look around you. The mountains may tremble, the world may shake, but your covenant stands firm. You are not adrift in chaos, you are anchored in eternity. The storms that rage only reveal the strength of what holds you. The love that called you has not changed its tone. When fear comes knocking, answer with remembrance, I am covered by covenant. When doubt whispers, respond, the Lord has not withdrawn his hand. And when the world around you shifts like sand, stand tall upon the rock that will never crumble, for heaven has written your name in its eternal ledger. You are not forgotten, you are bound by divine agreement. The covenant that began before time is still alive within you. Nothing on earth, above, or beneath can undo what God himself has sealed. Chosen one, rest in this truth. You are kept by covenant, covered by compassion, and carried by a love that will never let go. Chosen one. When God clothes a person in authority, it does not look like the crowns of men. It does not shimmer with pride or glitter with ego. It is weight, not ornament. It is mantle, not costume. You are standing in the threshold of transformation, where heaven places upon your shoulders the mantle of authority, a garment woven from obedience, humility, and endurance. This mantle is not earned through achievement, it is entrusted through alignment. You have walked through the fire of refinement, endured the silence of testing, and passed through storms that could have shattered you. Every hardship was a tailor's measurement. Every tear was thread. Heaven has been crafting this mantle around the shape of your surrender. The time for hiding has ended. The authority being released upon you now is not about control, it is about command under compassion. True authority does not crush, it carries. It does not dominate, it liberates. The world's version of power seeks to be seen. Heaven's version seeks to serve. You are being raised not to reign over men, but to release heaven through mercy. Authority is not given to make your name louder. It is given to make his presence visible. When God grants authority, he shares his voice. He allows your words to carry weight in the unseen realm. Demons recognize that tone, storms respond to it, hearts break under its tenderness. This is the voice you've been learning to carry, the voice that speaks not from ego, but from intimacy. As it is written in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 10, verse 19, I have given you authority to trample on snakes and scorpions and to overcome all the power of the enemy. Nothing will harm you. Chosen one. This promise was not metaphor, it was mandate. The same Spirit that raised Christ from the dead dwells within you. And with that indwelling comes dominion. You are not a bystander in spiritual warfare. You are an ambassador of victory. Heaven does not merely protect you, it operates through you. When you speak, you represent the kingdom of light. But before heaven releases authority publicly, it must first test obedience privately. The mantle you carry now has been proven in the secret place. You learn to command not by shouting, but by surrendering. You discovered that authority is not about louder prayers, but deeper faith. You learned that the true weapon of the righteous is not wrath, but worship. Think of Elijah on Mount Carmel. His authority was not in his voice, but in his alignment. He stood alone against hundreds. Yet heaven answered him with fire because his heart was already burning. That same fire burns within you now, not to destroy, but to declare that heaven stands with you. The mantle also carries weight because it bears memory. Every scar, every silent night. Every whispered prayer has been stitched into it. When you wear this mantle, you do not forget where you came from. You remember who carried you here. Authority without remembrance turns into arrogance. But authority with humility becomes anointed leadership. Chosen one. This mantle will shift how you see yourself. You will no longer speak as the wounded, but as the warrior. You will walk into situations that once intimidated you and realize they bow before the power that walks with you. Your presence will begin to quiet chaos. Your words will disarm confusion. The light in your eyes will remind darkness that it lost. Still, do not mistake this mantle for immunity. Authority does not remove battles, it redefines them. You will still face storms. But now, instead of pleading for rescue, you will command peace. You will still encounter warfare. But now, instead of hiding, you will declare victory from the front lines. You are being trusted with heaven's response in human form. This authority will draw both favor and opposition. Some will sense the weight upon you and be drawn to the light. Others will resist it out of fear. Do not be distracted by either reaction. Both are evidence that your mantle is real. Keep your focus on the one who placed it there. You are not wearing this to impress the world. You are wearing it to fulfill your assignment. Chosen one. Remember that authority is most powerful when clothed in gentleness. Jesus carried the highest authority and yet washed the feet of his disciples. The mantle you carry must be dipped in compassion, otherwise it becomes cold and heavy. When you lead, lead with mercy. When you speak, speak with love. When you confront darkness, do so with light, not rage. You are stepping into a chapter where your very presence will shift atmospheres. Doors will open without knocking, storms will settle without shouting. The same spirit that moved upon the waters now moves within you. You do not walk alone, you walk as a vessel of divine command. Chosen one. The mantle rests upon you now. It is invisible, yet undeniable. Heaven recognizes it, hell respects it, and the earth will soon respond to it. Walk in it with reverence. Wear it with humility. And remember, the power you carry is not yours, it is borrowed light, entrusted to a faithful servant for a divine mission. You are not merely chosen, you are commissioned. Chosen one. You were never meant to carry light for yourself alone. Every flame heaven ignites within a soul is meant to spread, to warm, to awaken, to call others home. This is the kingdom expansion, the hour when your obedience becomes the spark that lights the way for many. What began as a whisper in your spirit will soon echo through generations. You have walked faithfully through storms, endured refining fires, and learned the rhythm of divine timing. All of that was not only for your transformation, it was for your influence. The kingdom does not grow through grand displays of power, it expands through quiet acts of faith. One surrendered life at a time. You are now stepping into the phase where your light becomes contagious. As it is written in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 14, you are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Chosen one. Heaven did not invest so much in you just to hide you away. You have been placed strategically, like a lamp positioned on a stand to illuminate a dark room. The world doesn't need perfection, it needs authenticity. It needs your story, your scars, your strength. When others see how you endured and still worship, how you lost and still believed, they will find courage to do the same. The kingdom grows not through noise, but through nurture. When you speak truth in love, when you extend grace to the broken, when you forgive those who hurt you, heaven expands. Every time you choose compassion over revenge, every time you lift someone instead of judging them, you build unseen walls of light. You may never see the full ripple, but heaven records every act. Think of a river beginning as a small spring. At first, it's barely a trickle, winding quietly through stones and soil. But as it flows, it gathers strength, drawing other streams into its current. That is what's happening in your life right now. You are the spring, and your obedience is drawing other hearts into movement. What feels small today will one day become a current of revival. Kingdom work is not always loud, it is often hidden. It's in conversations where you choose empathy over pride. It's in prayers whispered for strangers. It's in the way you show up when others walk away. You are expanding heaven every time you choose love over apathy. But expansion also requires stewardship. You cannot pour from an empty vessel. As God increases your reach, stay anchored in His presence. Do not confuse visibility with vitality. A lamp burns bright only because it stays connected to oil. Your oil is intimacy with God. Without it, the light fades. Guard your time of prayer, your moments of stillness. That's where your flame stays alive. Chosen one. This expansion will stretch you. New people will enter your life. New doors will open, and new responsibilities will appear. Do not fear the stretch, it's proof of growth. God is enlarging your capacity so that more can flow through you. You are no longer just surviving, you are multiplying impact. And as your light spreads, remember the power of community. The kingdom is not built by one flame, but by many lights burning together. Find others who carry fire. Partner. Encourage. Uplift. The light that unites cannot be extinguished. One candle can chase shadows, but 1,000 can ignite a nation. If this message resonates deep within you, if you can sense the divine calling to not only rise but to raise others, let it move you into reflection and response. Take a moment and breathe this truth in. You are part of something eternal. Then, let your gratitude turn into gentle action. Like this message, not as a click, but as an act of agreement and amen in motion. Share it as a seed of hope, because someone's dark night might need the very light that burns in you. Subscribe so that every word heaven releases continues to find you and keep your fire alive. And if you feel led to sow into this work, to help this light reach farther and brighter, do so with an open heart. Every offering becomes kindling fuel for another soul to be reached, another life to be lifted. Giving isn't about transaction, it's about participation. You're helping light spread like dawn across a sleeping landscape. When you support, you join heaven's architecture, building bridges of faith where walls once stood. You become a living echo of generosity, a reflection of divine abundance. Every share, every seed, every whispered prayer keeps this flame burning for others who still walk in shadow. Chosen one, your role in this kingdom is not small. You are a torchbearer. Your life is a message written in fire. Keep burning, keep shining, keep building. The world grows brighter each time you choose to love, to give, to forgive, to believe. And when heaven looks down upon this moment, It will not see a single flame flickering alone, it will see a horizon filled with light. Because one obedient heart decided to ignite the world. Chosen one. There comes a moment when glory no longer feels distant. It begins to breathe near you, saturating your surroundings like morning mist. You sense it in the quiet of your spirit. The calm between heartbeats, a sacred awareness that heaven has drawn close. This is the glory awakening, the unveiling of divine presence that no human effort can manufacture. It arrives not with noise, but with weight. Glory is not a glow that flatters the flesh. It is a fire that transforms the soul. It is the atmosphere of heaven touching the dust of earth. You cannot earn it or imitate it. It chooses hearts prepared by surrender. It rests upon those who have been emptied of pride and filled with longing. That is why it comes to you now. The wilderness made you ready. The waiting made you pure. At first, glory reveals itself quietly. You will notice peace in places that once felt chaotic, light in areas that once seemed dark. Your words will carry more compassion, your thoughts more clarity. The same situations that used to provoke fear will now draw forth faith. Glory is not just felt, it is lived. It changes not only what surrounds you, but who you are within. When Moses came down from the mountain, his face shone with divine light. The glow was not decoration, it was residue. He had spent time in the presence of God, and it marked him permanently. The same is true for you. The encounters you have had in secret, the prayers, the tears, the whispered yes, they have written something radiant upon your spirit. Others will see it before you do. As the prophet declared in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 14, "For the earth will be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord." Chosen one. That prophecy is unfolding before your eyes. The glory is spreading across the earth, not just through cathedrals and pulpits, but through ordinary lives like yours. Every time you choose truth over compromise, every time you extend grace when it costs you, every time you love the unlovable, you release glory into the world. You become part of the great covering that will one day fill every corner of creation. Glory changes how you walk. You begin to move with quiet confidence, not arrogance, for you know the presence walking beside you. You stop striving for recognition because you already carry the recognition of heaven. You no longer chase affirmation, because the light within you has already found favor above. This awakening will also bring sensitivity. You will notice that certain things that once amused you no longer do. Certain conversations will suddenly feel hollow. The closer you get to glory, the less you can tolerate shadows. The fire of presence refines your tastes, not through rules, but through reverence. You begin to desire what delights him. Do not be surprised if solitude becomes sweet again. Glory often dwells where noise fades. You may feel drawn away from the crowd, not because of pride, but because your spirit needs silence to breathe. In that stillness, you will sense waves of divine awareness washing over you, reminders that you are never alone. The glory awakening is not a spectacle for the eyes, it is a revelation for the heart. It makes ordinary moments extraordinary. You will notice miracles woven into the mundane, laughter that heals, words that restore, encounters that feel orchestrated. Every detail begins to shimmer with meaning because you are learning to see through heaven's lens. And yet, glory carries responsibility. To encounter it is to become its carrier. When it rests upon you, it demands integrity, compassion, and humility. The light you bear must never be used to boast but to bless. Glory is safest in the hands of the broken, because they remember that it is borrowed. Chosen one. This awakening will not fade as emotions do. It will deepen. The more you honor it, the stronger it grows. The more you yield to it, the wider it spreads. You will wake each day aware that heaven walks with you, not as a feeling, but as a fact. This is what you were made for, to host His presence, to shine without speaking, to live as proof that the divine still dwells among us. The glory awakening is not coming to you, it is emerging through you. Chosen one. Every divine story reaches a point where heaven completes what it began. The shaping, the shaking, the refining, the revealing, all of it leads here, the final shift. You have walked through fire and silence, through breaking and birthing, and now the circle closes in perfect symmetry. This is not an ending, it is fulfillment. The sound you hear in the spirit is not collapse, it is culmination. The final shift does not come with thunder, but with stillness. It's the quiet after the storm, the peace that follows surrender. You will know it not by noise or signs, but by a deep and steady knowing inside your soul, a recognition that everything is now aligning. Heaven is not distant anymore, it has intertwined with your reality. You are standing in the intersection of promise and manifestation. All the seasons that once seemed random now make sense. Every unanswered prayer, every detour, every tear, they converge into meaning. The lessons you learned in pain have become wisdom. The strength you gained in struggle has become armor. The compassion birthed through loss has become healing for others. God wastes nothing, He recycles everything. What once felt fragmented now forms a mosaic of divine intention. The final shift is the moment the unseen becomes visible. You begin to see fruit where there used to be only faith. Doors you once knocked on now open on their own. Paths that were hidden become illuminated. There is an ease replacing effort, grace replacing grind, purpose replacing pressure. You are no longer trying to make things happen, you are walking in what has already happened. As the Apostle wrote in the book of Philippians, chapter 1, verse 6, "He who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus." Chosen one. That is the divine assurance that undergirds this moment. The one who started your journey will finish it. You were never meant to complete yourself. You were meant to be completed by the Creator who formed you. Every unfinished chapter in your life is being rewritten by His hand, and the ink is glory. This final movement will not erase the past, it will redeem it. You will see how even your failures served your formation. The things that once embarrassed you will become the very testimonies that empower you. What the enemy tried to label as shame, heaven will reframe as story. The final shift turns wounds into wisdom, ashes into altars. You may feel a strange mix of peace and anticipation right now, as if you are standing at the edge of something both familiar and foreign. That is exactly where heaven wants you, still enough to listen, ready enough to move. You are crossing from effort into embodiment, from promise into possession. You are no longer chasing destiny, you are walking inside it. Do not fear the unfamiliar. Every shift feels strange at first, but this one will soon feel like home. The space God is leading you into was always yours, it just needed your readiness to match its magnitude. You have grown into the person the promise requires. That's why this shift could not happen sooner. Heaven was waiting for you to catch up to your calling. The old version of you cannot enter the new dimension of you. The doubts that once accompanied your journey will fall away quietly. The insecurities that once shouted will now whisper until they fade completely. The peace that comes after surrender will anchor you more deeply than any certainty ever could. You are moving from believing in God's plan to becoming part of it. Chosen one. This is the moment when heaven's rhythm and your heartbeat align. You are no longer walking separately from God's will, you are synchronized with it. Every step forward is prophecy fulfilled. Every breath a continuation of divine purpose. The shift is not around you, it is within you. Soon, others will notice. They will sense the calm around you, the authority in your words, the glow in your presence. But this is not about recognition, it's about reflection. You will reflect heaven's nature naturally. You will carry peace into chaos without trying, hope into despair without preaching. Your life will become a mirror of the kingdom. The final shift is not about climbing higher, it's about standing deeper. It is about becoming so rooted in divine truth that nothing external can move you. You have entered a state of still strength, holy confidence, sacred calm. You no longer react to storms because you have become the eye of them. Chosen one. This is what you were always meant for, to be a living testament of completion, a walking expression of divine wholeness. You are the evidence that God finishes what He starts. The old has fallen away like autumn leaves, and the new stands firm, radiant, and ready. Breathe in this moment. Heaven has completed the masterpiece. The canvas of your life glows with redemption, restoration, and relentless grace. You are home in your purpose, at peace in your soul, and fully aligned with the will of the one who called you. This is the final shift. It is not the end of your story, it is the beginning of your reign. Chosen one. You've reached the end of this journey, but really, it is not an ending at all. It is a doorway. You've walked through revelation, through fire, through silence, through glory. You have felt heaven breathe across your story, reminding you that you were never ordinary. You were chosen, molded, and sent for such a time as this. Now, the question is not if God will move, it's how you will carry what He's given you. The words you've just heard are not meant to fade when the screen goes dark. They are seeds alive, divine, waiting to take root in your spirit. Let them grow. Let them guide your next decision, your next prayer, your next step. If something in these messages stirred your soul, if a phrase or moment felt like it carried your name, don't keep it silent. Like this message as a way of saying, I receive what heaven has spoken. Share it with someone who feels forgotten, because you might be the bridge between their despair and their awakening. Subscribe so you don't miss the next divine whisper waiting to find you when you need it most. And then speak back to heaven. Comment below what word, phrase, or truth marked you the most. It's not for algorithmic noise. It's an act of remembrance. It says, this was my moment. This was my turning point. Every testimony builds another altar of light across this world. The story of the chosen ones does not end here. It continues through you every time you love, forgive, rise, or believe again. Heaven is still writing, still moving, still using you as its living chapter of hope. Carry the fire, spread the light. The world is waiting for your voice.